Hi, I'm Scott Campbell. Welcome to my window painting tutorials.
Lesson 36, Cleaning Brushes.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I got a great video tonight, and it's not super long. It's only about 5 or 6 minutes, but it's really good. It's all about washing brushes, which everybody's been wanting the cleaning brushes video, so it is here. I made a most incredible vegetable stew. It is so good. Oh, you got everything in it. Okay, let's get started. All right, here we go. Well, I start with a 5-gallon bucket, and I put a little bit of some dishwashing liquid in. I use Dawn dishwashing liquid. Just squirt a little bit in, and depending on the weather, the time of year, like if it's winter and stuff, I usually use hot water. If it's summer, I use cold, and I fill it up halfway. This is how it gets going. I start by throwing in all my brushes. And this is what it looks like after a while. Just a filthy mess. All my brushes in there, my rollers and everything. Sometimes I leave it in for as long as a week or two, depending on the weather. Like again, if it's cold, it doesn't get sour, but if it's hot, I have to change them off. And then I scrub it out with this brush here. And then I add some more soap. And now I got the fresh one ready. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start washing the brushes, and make sure the water isn't too hot. You know, lukewarm is fine, or cold too. And but lukewarm is good. And then you add a little bit of soap. And the reason I do that is because these brushes, if you get the water too hot, the seam here opens up, the glue splits, and the foam will come right off of it. And I've had it happen before. So here I go. I just fill up my sink in there, and it's good to use other people's sink and use other people's water, but you can do it at home too. And I wash the brushes, I wash the rollers, I scrub them out, rinse them in the deep water. And then also sometimes I'll just run cold water over them like this, if I'm not too much worried about the water bill. And that's another way to do it. So anyway, with them all washed now, I just set them on the other side here. And they're still wet. So we'll leave the foam brushes over there for now, and the rollers. And okay, now this is my black tray. And that's where I keep my cell vinyl and also my cup that I use to put the black paint in. So when I wash them, I take them out of that tray and I dump out the black water. And sometimes I leave these in the water for 4 months, you know. But again, in the summer, not quite as often because the water gets hot and it gets old. So here I am washing it out. I'm speeding it up a little here. And I'm just rinsing out the brushes superficially just to begin with. And then I'm cleaning this out. I'm going to scrub it out a little with the scrubber. And then, excuse me, once I get that cleaned out, I fill it up with fresh water, about a third of the way, and just set it to the side. Okay, now I'm going back in and I get the dishwashing liquid again. And this is something I learned in high school art class. This is how they showed me how to wash brushes. So that's pretty cool. And I just scrub them on the end and stuff, and it works pretty good. And at first I scrub all the brushes together, and but then after a while, if I want them super clean, I'll take them individually and work them individually to get extra black out of it. And just scrub, and let the water run over it. And then when I'm done, I squeeze out the water and flatten it. It keeps its shape. And for now, I'm just setting them over there, but I'm just gonna throw them all back in the black water, or the white. I call it the black water. It's water, but it's not black yet, but it will be. So here I have the foam brushes, are all wet still, and what I do is I just shake them around and shake all the water out of it. And it's always good to make sure you get all the water out. You can also use like the rag that you carry on your side on the fanny pack. Excuse me. And then with the rollers, the wet rollers, a little bit wet, you just take them and you find a spot like a pole or something and or whatever. Just make sure you got paint out of it, because otherwise paint will go flying everywhere. And I've done that too. Okay, so here's my dried brushes, and I just put them in a tray. You know, you can get like trays almost anywhere, like dollar store or whatever. And the same thing with the rollers. Once the rollers have all been dried out, you just line them up. I usually put the big ones on the bottom and then the 4-inch ones on top. 7-inch on the bottom, 4-inch on top. And I just keep my the rollers in another tray. And this is this is how I sometimes just stack things up like that before I put them in the car. Okay, so with the black brushes, this is the black. I put the brushes in already, the clean brushes, and I put the lid on it. And what I do is I have this within this other plastic one, so that if the water, you know, starts flying out, it's not going to go anywhere. And I have my cell vinyl there and my cup. So this is how you do it. You wash windows when it's 25 degrees out. Well, first of all, you gotta get your propane heater going here. And also, I've got a bucket of hot water. If my hands get really freezing, I just stick them in the warm water, then stick them in front of the heater. There's actually one more thing I wanted to show you guys really quick. This is where I keep my paint. And I have these large trays. I think I got these at Walmart or something, but they're great. And they have these little locks on the side that keep the lid on fairly tight. But this is where I keep my trays. And I'll go, you know, and I can go into a video about washing the trays later too, but it's pretty self-explanatory, washing the trays. Anyway, I keep the red, yellow, and white always wet. In the summer I have to spray it a lot, but in the winter not so much. Depends on the weather. But yeah, here's the sprayer I use, and I just have to make sure I spray it when I come home. And if it's really hot, I got to bring the paint inside. Or if it's really cold, I have to bring it inside too, because it'll freeze. So those are things to keep in mind too, depending on the time of year it is. But with it locking up like this, it's great. It keeps all the moisture and keeps it from drying out. All right, talk to you later. Have a great night. Bye.